The best way to win and make a bunch of money as a video editor has changed forever. But the good news is, there is a massive opportunity for editors who understand this, because the majority still don't. Old way editors aren't able to charge what they want, they're working crazy hours and still can't land good clients. While editors who adopted the new way, well, they're working with the highest paying people in the space who actually value their work and creativity. I know this because I've been through the journey from 0 to 10K a month with video editing myself. And now I'm starting to see the gap between the two get bigger and bigger. So in this video, I'm gonna share what these two ways of editing are and the 3 shifts you need to make to not get left behind. I made my first $5 online by editing a gaming montage for someone on Fiverr. Gaming montages actually got me into editing, but back then I made one huge mistake. As an impatient kid, I didn't want to spend a bunch of time actually getting good at these montages. So I found people who were good and just used their presets. It worked, it even landed me this $5 client, but the issue was that I was never able to get to the level of these guys whose presets I was using. They were actually good at editing and understood the ins and outs of what makes a good montage, while I just copy-pasted their stuff. When I switched over to editing proper videos for content creators, I knew I wanted to be at the absolute top of the game. So I knew I just couldn't blindly copy others' presets. Instead, I studied editors who were better than me. I remember I bought this editing pack for $15, completely skipped over the presets folder and went straight to project files. Instead of copy-pasting effects, I tried to figure out how and why the guy created them. Fast forward 4 years, I'm charging $2,500 per single video instead of 5, all because I understand fundamentals, use my creativity, and tailor my editing to the specific client's needs. So the first shift you need to make in order to become this new way editor is to prioritize storytelling over effects. See, the issue is that editors are mainly editing for themselves and to maybe show off on Twitter or something like that. That's why they put crazy effects in places where they aren't even needed, which leads to them spending a bunch of extra time, totally unnecessary, while making the video kind of worse. What storytelling is though, is it's making the video nice to watch for the viewer. So instead of editing for yourself and just having fun with adding creative effects, you actually listen to what's happening in the video, what story your client, the creator, is trying to tell, and tailoring your editing specifically to that. Paying very close attention to non-flashy things like music, pacing, digestibility, flow, things that actually make the video nice to watch from the viewer's perspective. And effects can help with that, but only if they help the viewer understand the video or be engaged into the story even more. Understanding who you're editing for and what the target audience of the video is incredibly important as well. Because sure, you might have your own editing style, but at the end of the day, if you want to get paid a lot of money, then you need to be tailoring that to the specific creator you're editing for and to their target audience. And not only that, it might honestly even differ from one video to another. Sometimes your client would make a video that needs to look a bit higher production. Sometimes they would want the video to look a bit lower production to make it feel kind of like authentic and very casual. And you can't just be blindly applying the same effects and the same style to both of these videos, because that's genuinely gonna make the result worse and honestly probably is gonna take you more time to edit the video. So what I want you to start doing is, instead of showing off, actually start thinking about what's gonna make the video nicer to watch for the viewer. And we're not in the Mr. Beast era anymore, where you would need a highly edited video every time in order to make the viewer stay. We're actually past that, and as an editor, you need to start thinking instead of just making every video as flashy as it can be. Not every video needs that. And this perfectly brings me onto the shift number 2 you need to make in order to become this new way editor and leave all the old way editors behind, is to start prioritizing creativity over presets. So don't get me wrong, I'm all for optimizing your workflow and spending as little time on every video as possible while obviously maintaining a really good quality. But what happens when you're trying to use as many presets as possible just to save some time is that you actually aren't prioritizing storytelling, because every single video will be different, and adjusting and tailoring your editing to the specific video you're editing to make it the best as it can be is incredibly important. Trust me, when you switch your mindset over to I want to be creative for every single video instead of just kind of phoning it in and doing the same thing every single time, that's when things really start to change, because you approach every video as this clean blank state and you make it the best as it possibly can be, just because you don't take into account these biases and experiences from the older videos you've edited. You approach this video as if it's a totally new project, because it is, and you just make it as nice to watch for the viewer as possible. I think these first two shifts, so storytelling over effects and creativity over presets, are very tied together, because honestly all it comes down to is to just adopting the viewer's perspective and seeing how you can make the video better to watch specifically for the viewer. Not for you, not for your friends, not even for the client, but specifically for the viewer, because at the end of the day, that's who you're editing for. Sometimes it's gonna be better not to add an animation instead of making the video a highlight reel, or creating something from scratch instead of reusing assets that you've created previously, like presets or some templates, in order to make them match this specific video, because that's gonna make a huge difference for the viewer. But now let's actually talk about the third shift that needs to happen in your head, and it's gonna be mainly for you. And that is to start prioritizing quality over quantity. So at the end of the day, there are two ways to make 10K per month as a video editor, is to either edit, let's say, 5 videos for 2K each, or to edit 100 shorts for $100 each. Personally, I would take the first option, to edit less videos but make them insanely high quality any day of the week. Because personally, I just find that way more fulfilling, but also, even from the objective standpoint, in the age of AI and just seeing how quickly it is developing, I think it's gonna replace the mechanical editing quite soon, and what's gonna be valued a lot more is that attention to detail and that creativity that basically only a human can create. Those are the exact traits clients are willing to pay thousands for. And if you want to improve as a video editor, I would just be aiming to raise your price per video to begin with. When you're charging over 1K per video, then yeah, maybe you can prioritize actually getting these videos done very fast in order to start making a lot of money per month, not just a lot of money per video. But I think it's crucial to develop your skills first and raise your price per video first. And to do that, adopting the mindset of quality over quantity is absolutely essential, and starting to pay close attention to every single small detail in the video is gonna take your editing to a whole nother level. Because what's gonna happen is, nor the viewer or the client is gonna notice the exact small detail you spent extra 20 minutes on, but the entire video will feel completely different, because those small details add up and make your work feel like not a $200 video, but a 1.5K video. And that's exactly the point where you can start charging those prices, because the market, the clients and the viewers actually see that your work stands out from this crowd of old way editors who are just trying to phone in the video and not even improve as much, but instead trying to make more money by hustling and grinding harder and onboarding 3 extra clients. Anyway, that's it for today. I really appreciate you watching. If you want me personally to help you scale to 5 to 10K per month as a video editor, then click the first link in the description. But otherwise, I'm gonna see you in the next one. Peace.